So your first coding assignment is the week 2 assignment, where you're going to create a page about yourself, a little bio page. The content is totally up to you, but I've put some suggestions here on the page for some ideas that you can use in your web page. Next week we're going to be uploading the page to a web server, so you need to make sure that your language is appropriate for a DACC class, and you want to make sure you're not sharing anything that you're not comfortable sharing with the world. So you must use a plain text editor this week, no Dreamweaver, and then your page must contain a basic HTML document structure, headings, 1 H1 and at least 3 H2, and then at least 3 paragraph elements, and at least 2 links. Optionally, you can also have a line break and a horizontal rule. At the bottom of this page is some information on some text steps for you to follow, but we're also going to go over a little demo in this video for you. And then the last thing you want to do once you're completely finished with your assignment is submit it. So for this week, you're going to attach your index.html file to this assignment and submit it in Blackboard. So at the bottom of the page down here, you can see there's an add an attachment link. That's where you're going to go and navigate to find your index.html file. And then you're going to click the submit button. Okay? If you have questions, please contact me. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is to create a folder for our class called CMT 130. Inside that folder, we're going to create a folder for this week called Week 2. The web server is case sensitive, so next week when we're uploading this to the web server, you want to make sure that you have everything lowercase, no spaces, or you may have some trouble viewing your file. Now we're ready to open Komodo Edit. You should see an interface that looks something like this. It may look a little bit different on Macs. The first step here is going to be to start a new project. There's 2 ways to start a new project. One is to click on the new project under the actions thing on the far right. The other is to go up to the project menu and choose new project. Okay. Then we're going to navigate to our folder, and I'm going to name my project Week 2 and click Save. And sure, why not? Let's have it add an extension. Okay. So now over on the left-hand side, we have our project, and all of the files that are associated with our project will show up over here. Okay. So next step is going to be to start a new file. So you can either do that over here under the actions or over here under File, New File. Okay. And the next step is going to be to change this from a text file to an HTML file. So I'm going to look through my list here and find HTML. Okay. And then I'm going to save this file as index.html. Okay. Now we're ready to begin coding. So the first tag you're always going to type is the HTML tag. The HTML tag opens and closes your HTML document. Okay. And as you can see, as I'm typing, Komodo Edit is giving me code hints here so that I can get some information. It also automatically indents for you to kind of keep your code all neat and nice. So inside our HTML tag, we're going to put a head tag. The head tag does not show up on the page. It is information about our document. Okay. The other tag that we're going to put in is the body tag. The body tag is where all of the stuff we want to show up on the screen goes. I always recommend typing the opening and closing tags right as you go. That way it's easier to not forget them. Okay. So now we have HTML tag with a head tag inside and a body tag inside. There's one other tag that we need for a complete basic HTML document, and that's the title tag, and it goes inside the head. Okay. So again, you can see I'm typing both the start tag and the end tag, and then I'm going to go back and add a title. So this is for your bio, so you can call it your name bio. So I'll call it Carrie's bio, but it can be whatever you want it to be called. Okay, and that's it for the basic HTML document. You're going to be repeating this basic HTML document over and over throughout the semester, so I'd recommend that you guys get really familiar with these tags. I'd also recommend that you not copy paste this document. It's much better to learn HTML by actually practicing typing the tags. So if you copy paste, you're not going to learn the tags nearly as well. So the next step is to start adding content to your body. So usually you start with an H1, which is the biggest heading. And often it matches what it says in the title. Okay. And then you start adding more content. So you could have a paragraph that was just an overview. And then you start adding subheadings. So H2 is the next subheading down. You shouldn't have an H3, H4, or H5 on your page if you don't have an H2. I'm going to make another paragraph. Sometimes I forget to put the ending paragraph in first too. And then you're going to repeat that. So we're going to have another H2 for maybe my work. And maybe my interest. Okay, you guys don't want to see me actually spend time crafting paragraphs, so that's good enough. And then the other thing that you're supposed to have in your assignment this week is 2 links. So I'm going to demo one of those. So I'm going to demo one. I'm going to link NMSU to the NMSU homepage. So essentially before the word that I want to link, I'm going to insert an anchor tag, which is the link tag, which is A for anchor. And then it has an attribute called href. Okay, and you can see that again, Komodo Edit is giving me help here, so I can see what the correct thing is here. And if I type the tab key, it will go ahead and accept that. And then I want to put quotes in and type my URL. So htp:// www.nmsu.edu. nmsu.edu. Don't forget that HTTP part, because often that is why our links don't work. And then I'm going to put in a close caret, and I'm going to come after NMSU and close the anchor tag. If I do not do this, the rest of the page will be linked. And that's it. That is a link. Okay? You need to insert another one of those for your assignment. So the last thing you want to do is preview your file in a browser. So Komodo gives you several options to do that. So at the top you can see that there's the menu system up there, and below that's a little toolbar. It has several of the things that you're used to in here. There's undo, last action. If you hover over things, you can see what it does. Print, there's a help thing. And then there's a little blue world looking icon here. And you have several options on where you can view your program, your code. So in Komodo tab, so that's a little preview that'll show up at the bottom of the screen. So we can preview this file. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see a preview. Okay? This is kind of cool because if you start making changes up here, they appear down at the bottom, so you can kind of see what's going on right as you type. Okay? But you also do want to preview in an actual browser to get a really good idea. This will be more important as we move along in the semester to CSS when we're actually trying to do things. So there's also the option to preview in any browser that you have installed. So I have Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Safari installed on my computer currently. So I'm going to go ahead and click Firefox. It's going to ask me to preview this file. I'll say yes. And you do have to remember to have everything saved before you do this, because it will show you the saved version. Okay. And one thing I want to make sure you guys do before you submit your assignment is click on your links and make sure they're working. Okay. Alright, so you can see we just have a very simple page with some information in it. Okay. So your guys' task this week is to make a bio page. Okay. If you have questions, please email me.